We'll go right to New Bias Wilborn to start us off.
Hey, Jonathan, thanks for doing this, man. I hope you're having a good day, brother.
Thank you. You yourself.
Yes, sir. Blessings. What have you noticed in watching initial tape on their receivers? What have you seen with those receivers? What have you seen with those guys?
Yeah, so I see a dynamic group of guys, who could run and, make plays and extend plays after the catch. So, as we continue to watch film throughout the week, we're going to develop a game plan, on how to best deal with them. So.
Go to Daniel Gallen next.
Hey, Jonathan, during camp, you were splitting time a little bit between safety, linebacker, adding to your role. Going into the season, what were you kind of, expecting your role to be, and how has that kind of been, in practice once you've gotten into the games?
Yeah, so I've always been comfortable playing around in the box. So, taking reps of linebacker, obviously, I feel like not only benefits, me, but also the team as well. So, just trying to add depth and trying to add, versatility to my game and being able to, play multiple positions, I think will benefit me in the long term as well. So.
Go to Joe Giuliano next.
Good morning, Jonathan. The defense played a lot of guys on Saturday, and I wondered what your thoughts were on the depth of your defensive unit and some of the younger guys who really stood out to you on Saturday.
Yeah, it was good seeing, Jalen Reed, obviously, Sebastian Constantini, Kalen King, Kobe King, a bunch of guys, young guys, getting reps on defense, developing their craft, getting more experience. It was good seeing that. I think it'll be beneficial to them and us as well, as a team. If we need to call their number, like, later down the season, they'll have experience. So.
Go back to New Bias.
I mean, I know you guys do the 1-0 thing, and I get that, but how much does it actually mean to you guys to play an SEC team with them coming to your house?
Yeah, it's not every day that you see an SEC, opponent on our schedule, but I mean, the answer is never going to change. We take we prepare for every single team the same. Doesn't matter if you're part of the Pac-12, Big 12, SEC. We're going to prepare for you the same, and we're going to treat you. The same. So we respect all our opponents regardless of what conference. But obviously an SEC opponent is not something you see every day. So we know that.
Go to Tyler Donahue next.
Good morning, Jonathan. What kind of preparation off the field is required to get yourself ready to go into the game on offense and defense in the eyes of your coaching staff, like Marquise Wilson was on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, it all starts with practice, and just keeping your health. Obviously doing maintenance on your body. It can get taxing. Obviously, being on both sides of the ball. So for Marquise, definitely starts with practice. Getting in the playbook, being familiar with both offense and defensive, strategies, and just taking care of his body, making sure he's healthy so he can play at the best level.
Go back to Joe Giuliano.
Jonathan, I just want to ask you how you're leading the guys, the younger guys in the secondary who are standing out, like Taquan Hardy and Tyler Rudolph and Kobe King. What have you been telling those guys, and how do you feel they've responded?
Yeah, all starts with meeting rooms and practice, honestly. We challenge each other, try to get each other better, obviously give advice, answer any questions they have about the playbook or whatnot. But those are two guys that you mentioned that, they come to practice every single day with a positive attitude, and they just try to work to get better. So it's real easy leading guys like that.
Next we'll go to Nate Bauer.
Hey, Jonathan, you're not going to have Tyler Rudolph for the first half, obviously on Saturday. How has he handled that? And what kind of stress, if any, does that put on the room?
I think he's handled it really well. He's preparing as if he was playing in the first half, the way he's going about his preparation. And we have a bunch of reliable guys in this room. I don't think we have any stress. We know that we have a bunch of guys that are capable of playing, stepping up. So we're just going to prepare like we regularly would. So
Go to Mark Murphy next.
Jonathan, it's been 90 years since Auburn took a road trip to a Big Ten stadium. Do you think these kind of games are fun for players and good for college football?
yeah, I definitely do. Getting a good Big Ten SEC matchup, I think that's great. Like I said before, it's not something you see quite often. So when it does happen, I think it's good for college football. It's good for the fans, and it's good for us as players too.
Thanks.
Tyler Donahue.
Jonathan, we got our first long look at Taquan playing some quarterback late in the game. You've been able to see him at many practices recent years. What do you think about Taquan and what he's done behind the scenes to put himself in a spot to go have success on the field when Penn State needs him?
Yeah, he's a guy that comes into work, every single day. He competes, and he tries to get himself as well as the offense better every single day. So watching him go out there last week it was real cool to watch, and it was cool to see his practice play translate to the games.
Tobias Wilborn.
I know you've got a lot on Jessie Lucy, man. What are some things that maybe we haven't seen that makes him such a unique player where he can play defensive end, go back to linebacker, and everything else that he does on the field?
I would say one thing that you guys probably don't see is his film preparation. He's a guy that watches a lot of film. He's always in the meeting rooms. He's always on his iPad. He studies the offense. He studies our defense. So he's a real smart football player, and I think that's definitely played a role in his success. Being able to play multiple positions.
Back to Nate Bauer.
Jonathan, you talked earlier about seeing some of the younger guys got an opportunity to play on Saturday. What was the benefit to some of you more experienced guys of playing less? Did you feel an impact to help on your bodies?
Yeah, from a recovery standpoint, for sure. Just being able to relax a little bit, just recover, get a little bit time off. That definitely helps in the sport that we play. So,
Tyler Donahue.
Jonathan, you mentioned that Tyler Rudolph's not going to be available the first half here, but what we did see of him last week, what was your impression? Seemed like he was flying around the field with some confidence, and Anthony Poindexter told us that he felt like a light was switched on for Tyler in the recent month or so.
Yeah, I most definitely agree. Especially with that confidence piece. He's been in this defense for several years now, and being able to actually get some reps on defense in the game, it definitely meant a lot to him. So I'm excited to see what else he has to bring to the table throughout the season. And Tyler Rudolph, he's a guy that works hard, and he's real hungry. So,
Nate Bauer.
Jonathan, how has your game evolved over the last year? Like, in what ways do you feel like you're better maybe this season than you were last?
I would say just my versatility, being able to play multiple positions. My first couple of years here, I was I was just playing free safety, our boundary safety. But, just as I continue to get, comfortable with the playbook and whatnot, I feel like I've definitely gotten better of like knowing the whole defense as a whole, knowing multiple positions, and that's definitely helped me, I would say.
Tyler Donahue.
Jonathan, 2 weeks ago, we were asking everybody how the young players were going to handle the road situation. Last week, it was how the young players are going to handle First Beaver Stadium experience. Now that you've got those two things under your belt, do you feel like this team has matured, come a bit of a way here in just 2 weeks?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I feel like if your football team is not maturing each week, that's definitely not a good thing. So I would from what I've seen so far, each week, you know, we're learning from our mistakes, making corrections, and, you know, maturity comes with that. So.
Back to Nate Bauer.
Sorry about that. Obviously Auburn offensively has posted some big numbers, points wise, the first couple of games. For you guys defensively, after, you know, holding teams to 10 and 13, do you have to maybe adjust your expectations a little bit in terms of, you know, the type of game that you might face on Saturday?
You know, I would say that our expectations, you know, remain the same throughout each week because the standard's the standard. You know, we have a standard here, and it doesn't matter who we're playing. You know, we're going to take the same approach to that each week. So we know we got a talented Auburn team coming up, but regardless, our standard is going to stay the same, and that's to obviously, you know, play the best defense, fly around, make plays on the ball, and hold them to a decent amount of points. So,
Any more questions for Jonathan? Go back to Tyler Donahue.
One more for you, Jonathan. I think we've asked you about the transfers on defense. Transfer on offense, Eric Wilson started at left guard. How has he progressed since he showed up in May? It sounds like, talking to some of your teammates, that it's been a pretty impressive transition moving in from Harvard.
yeah, you know, Eric's a guy that, you know, as soon as he stepped on here day one, you know, he was ready to work. Real strong, you know, in the weight room. And, you know, I feel like as he's gotten more comfortable with the playbook, obviously through time, you know, he's been playing a lot better. So I'm real excited for Eric for sure.
Joe Giuliano.
Jonathan, you talked about, you know, the maturity of the guys, but I think what a concerning stat, I think, would be the 13 penalties you guys have had in the first 2 games. What do you feel about that? And do you feel like that comes from a lack of focus, and how can you know, stay focused to lower that number?
Yeah, I agree that is a lot for the first 2 games. You know, I feel like, you know, it starts in practice. You know, it's the way we practice, because the way you practice is the way you're going to play. And, you know, we put a big emphasis on, you know, eliminating the pre-snap and post-snap penalties, because, you know, in this game, you know, in this aggressive game, you know, sometimes you're going to get penalties during the play, but as long as we can, you know, eliminate the pre-snap and post-snap penalties, I feel like we'll be in a good place. So we just got to keep working on that.
Thanks, Jonathan. Thanks, everyone, for joining us.